Testing. Right. Okay, so the last left off, this thing was crashing in the client in the new summer year. So we're on the server in debug mode and the client in debug mode and the server in release mode. While it's busy, I'm trying to, what can I do that's constructive while this damn thing compiles? Let me just test those builds I did earlier. TLex standalone, did I install it? And 2069. So now on the samples, we should have a few TLex terminology multiple sections. Hooray! And Doesn't seem to be a thread. There we go. So I basically did something like this, and now it crashes, which is actually kind of strange. Let me just, maybe you know what, I might have forgotten. Let me just check this. I might have done something silly. Iterative batches. Ticket helper, load entry. It's actually really strange that it crashed, because this is dead straightforward, and there's no, maybe there's a null reference here, dereference, or something, like I'm not correctly. Now what? Let's see. Delete. And debug mode. And debug mode. Sec3 is supposed to be undefined. Oh, I don't know if Tom here, it's C++. C++, I don't know if you can see my reply. Recipe, there we go. Let me just, why is it linking libsec? If it's being unleft. Let me just It's odd. But in debug mode, it's not even supposed to try links F3 right now. Maybe I should try a clean build. Because that's definitely undefing over there. Unless it redefines it somewhere. Okay, maybe. No, because right below it's at undefs again. Here's why. Tentatively enable F3 in real worlds. But this has been working forever. I haven't changed anything yet. Let me just do a diff just to try to see what's going on there. I've been working like this for months, and suddenly it doesn't want to work anymore. That little undef and redef, why? I haven't changed anything. Let's just see if the rebuild fixes it. I don't think it's going to though, because there it is, defining it. It's quite a complex, this is a bit of a complex mess going on here. That's definitely gonna clean up a bit. But not right now. We'll probably phase out WebKit except in the Mac build. TL Corpus will probably switch to Ceph3. Ceph3 will become the default in anyway, I don't understand this. I mean, I understand it, I can read the code, but my eyes work straightforward. What I don't understand is I know I'm just looking at the linger problem. Yeah, yeah, no. It should be really easy to fix. I'm just waiting for this build to finish. As soon as the build fix, if the rebuild all doesn't fix it, then I'm just going to comment out that line and get on with it. I don't understand though why this has been working for months and I haven't changed anything. So that's the only thing that's strange to me. This hasn't changed, and but it looks wrong now. Now that I look at it, it looks wrong with my eyes because. Oh no! Wait. It depends on the order things happen in this file. This is the config file. It turns on and off various things. So the first thing it does is enables sec3. Okay. And then below this, it undefs it. Yeah. So if we're in debug build, if you find debug, unless there's supposed to be an underscore in front of debug. No, I don't remember. But this code hasn't changed and it's been working for months. This little bit here says if it's a debug build, then undef sec3. Don't use sec3. And this has been working for months. I've been working with this for months. Now all of a sudden, I did do a Visual Studio update recently. So I don't know if that's somehow I'm just waiting to see if a rebuild all fixes it. It takes a few minutes. It's nearly done. I did do something funny after updating Visual Studio. I don't know. Wait. What did I? Maybe I messed around with the build settings. But I don't remember doing anything that should break it in this way. Because I remember doing something that... No, I didn't. No, it should be fine. That's pretty clear. I mean, if defined, undef it. And I can see from the coloring. No, that's not going to help me. This is the official master is in Subversion. This is a tiny thing. I'm not worried about this. I'm really not worried about this. Whatever happens, it's gonna be easy to fix. This is not my worry. I'm really not worried. Ah, I see why. Yeah, this, I think, is... Oh, no, wait. What? Link. Silly me. I know what's wrong. Old. It's not the application failing to link. It's one of the dependent projects. That explains it. We just remove it from the build. Anyway, I added that. That must be What did I have? Configuration manager, debug, release. Yeah, that's supposed to be in release, but not in debug. Yeah, it must have reset that. So I thought it was the application failing to build, but actually it was just one of the dependent projects. That dependent project is totally unnecessary. So I'm quite simply just going to build event, post build event, and rem out that post build step. That should fix that. Okay, now what? Why is that still happening if I just took that out? Ah, because those... Come on. Sitting in release, debug, post build step. Okay, now I can get on with debugging. Alright. There we go, now it worked. Alright, so let's now let's build the release again. I need to run the server in release, and the client in debug mode, so that I can catch in the debugger just to see exactly where it's crashing. So that will be somewhere in this load, probably in this load all function. I'm sure the debugger will tell me exactly where the problem is. Okay, tools, start server, configuration manager. Let's just read the code again, see if I spot any funnies. Yeah, I see a problem. I see a problem already, but just reading the code. That should be... Oh no, wait, no, that's right. AP batch is a batch, that's the batch, that's size. Okay, that is just I changed some of the paths a little bit for the boost libraries. That should fix that. Finally, alright, now we are back in business. Okay. Now I must rerun the server. That's annoying. Start server. Back to debug mode. Okay, so this one is running in server mode now. It says server running, port 99. And it's got a Chinese dictionary, Chinese Northern Sutri dictionary loaded. And then in the client, yeah, we connect to that one by using that option. And then to trigger the crashing code, we go do this. Voila. Okay. How is the load all node? Yeah, that would be. I don't know why. Pin node. Right. That would explain the crash. That's a really simple, small thing. Man, that's trivial. But to find that in release mode would have been really a pain. That's the sort of thing the debugger is good at finding. You know, I'm not a fan of debug mode. I don't spend a lot of time in debug mode. But some bugs are just better. You just go to the debugger. Alright, so now that is basically gonna do nothing. But I still wanna do the same thing. But now this time I want to run it because I want to see how the server gets that array, the array we passed to load entry. Alright, so now it's gonna do nothing, which is fine. What we're looking for now is information in the logs, basically, that might be useful to us. I want to see how this entry's. Wow, why is it? That doesn't look right. It's too short. There should be a whole bunch of IDs in there. Let's just see if that thing's empty or what's going on. Let's put a breakpoint over there. F9. And open it again. And just do F3 again. And should hit the breakpoint. Boom. Okay, that just size is 1. And the 0th one is what? Size equals 0. Okay, I need to put the breakpoint a little bit higher up. Like there. Oh, okay. And just try that again. That is really an annoying warning. Should be a way to turn it off. Okay. So we push an empty array onto the back. If the array at the back is full, then push a new array to the back. Where? This makes no sense. Unless we section random entries. Let's try that again. Random sections, right? P section. Element node. Maybe children, size is 0. That doesn't make sense. Because that's... Oh. And where are the entries? There's no lemma list. That's weird. Okay, the lack of a lemma list would explain why it doesn't work, but so let's do this. It could have something to do with this. The fact that auth is not required, maybe. Let's open data source. Hello. Where does it get the entry list in the first place? Listen to that fan. The computer's not doing anything. Firefox. Where does it write the entry list again? Says status, cursive status. Easily. Very cold. Okay. Entry. Okay, here's where it gets the entry list. Let's put a breakpoint here and just see why it's not even getting the entry list. Okay, get document, construction data, blah 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 blah. And get entry list. Succeeded, so oh, I have passed arrays around before. I thought this seemed familiar. So I have done this before. Passing an array around. So look at child entries. Empty, it returns an empty array list. I think I know what's going on. I think the server is doing it wrong. I think because we're not logged in, because that document doesn't have user management enabled, the server is probably rejecting this guest entry list nonsense. By default is off. So this guest entry list that shouldn't. This should just be derived. The value of this should be derived from yeah. So either that's what's happening. Maybe rethink this a little. Oh, it's June. Damn. Happy June. Alright. June. Maybe we think whether this setting needs to exist. Basically, it's implicit if user management disabled document to users. So will be entry list equals and then that or equals yeah. So basically, if no user management, and that's obviously not valid code, then it's also equals to true. Alright, I'm going to say that. Alright, so now this code needs to be replaced with something logical. And we've already done something that I think looks like the correct logic in somewhere around here. I don't remember where. Yeah, this is it. Right. So with the user manager, so if all required is none. So basically, if all required is optional or none. So in other words, if it's not this part, okay. If all required is optional or none. Okay. And also allow this interest. This needs some thought, I don't know. Anyway, so that I think is why we're not getting the interest. So the problem then is not in my load all function yet. The problems was with okay. Okay. Right, so now we should be back in business with the entry list. Tool start server, start client. Yeah, now we got an entry list. Wonderful. Okay. So now it loads one entry at a time, and now we want to do the load all thing, which is supposed to load all entries. Doesn't work yet. Okay. And that is what we're busy with. Load all. Right, so now I want to see what the server okay, this is the server log. Request entry list. Why is the entry list the last thing requested? Oh, there we go, there's more. There we go, okay, so it is passing. There we go, wonderful, that's what we want. That looks like exactly what we want. Finally. Excuse me, I'll let me go blow my nose. Yeah, so this stuff basically is asking the server to, I'm just gonna shrink this a little bit or something, and then say shift alt enter. If batch press fast batch. Okay. This is no longer dumb and naive because I'm in progress. Yeah, that's what I'm working on right now. Okay, it's raining. Reasonable amounts of rain. Not wonderful, but reasonable. Okay. So basically, yeah, loading 1 inch at a time is naive for the reasons given here. So what I'm doing is busy changing the loader to load in batches from the server. I wonder if we should also do this. Num entries. So basically we're going to have each request has a bunch of entry IDs. Hundred at a time, and that's slightly different. Squiggle these as opposed to, I don't know if this is going to work. So the load entry function must check if there is such a thing as entries being passed to it, or I must add a new function, not load entry, but load entries, like load batch, but on the server side, not the client load entry. This is the server side load entry. Okay. Yeah, so basically, yeah, okay. Oh, second, man. Seriously, I'm gonna stop streaming on Twitch. Honestly, okay. No, I'm not. Screw the trolls. I'm not. I'm not really gonna stop streaming on Twitch. But it's really becoming a pain. Alright, streaming. It's just a horde of trolls. Twitch chat. Okay. If the entry list has instead of a single entry ID, and send back multiple entries. Okay. I predicted, I'd say there's a 30% chance that that's going to be followed up by the troll's backup account entering the room. And I'll just ban on site. Right, if that was actually a compliment. That's funny. Anyway, I'm just I should have said thank you. If maybe I should have a separate function, because for loading more than one alright. Anyway, right. The problem with this thing is that this load entry gets passed through. There's a little method map stub between the RPC. For the RPC, there's basically like a method map here, and the method map maps to these generic little stub functions. They're just glue functions. And then, so this is a bit of a schlep. The glue function, why is that? Oh, because it's just a small little pass through. Eprom ID, yeah. So this, that's the problem. Now we can't, because this little glue function doesn't pass through entries. This little glue function has to now test if that what a schlepper. It's not difficult. It's easy. I'm just lazy. I don't feel like this is so much work. Okay. So I don't know if I should add a load entries button. I mean function, a separate function. Or if I think it should be a separate function, because let's say the average user wants to load one entry. So you want the API as simple as possible for that simple case. So you don't want them to have to bother with unpacking arrays with a whole lot of entries. I don't know, it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the damn other. It's really, I don't even think it makes much difference what we do in the end. Okay, load entries. Oh, I see, we must not confuse ourselves now, because the IO already has a function called load entries. Damn it. With a list of entries to load, well, that's fine. What's wrong with that? We can just use this directly then. Actually, pretty smart about it. When is that get used though? Never. The only thing that uses it is ODBC. Load all, load all calls load entries. But it passes the whole damn array. So it just asks for one giant batch. So that's the default load all, which we're overriding. We don't want to do that, because, like, even though, I don't know, it might be a good idea. I don't know. It might be a good idea. Then you don't divide it up into batches. You just have one giant batch, and it downloads all documents. It's a terrible idea. You do want, I think you do want batches. Yeah, you do want batches. Let's say it fails halfway, you know. Then you just discard, you've still got half the entries loaded. Like, the dictionaries can be really large. Like these Catalan ones are like 3-4 gigs or whatever. It's more than fits in memory even. So, like the VAT, it's like probably like a gig of data that we have to transfer. So Yeah, the other reason to do batches is that you can press cancel in the middle if you don't feel like waiting for it to finish. So yeah, we definitely want to do batches. Okay, that's decided. So I don't think there's a way around my laziness. Yeah, we can make a vector of we call the entries. Okay. Instead of a node, we pass yeah, unpack entries array. Batches of 100 odd is probably fair and good. Yeah, we got 25,000 entries, right? In batches of 100, that's 250 batches. If the round trip time to process a query is in the order of a second on a slow connection, that's 250 seconds divided to, which is about 4 minutes on a slow connection, devoted to just the overhead of the back and forth. And we can tweak it, we can even make it configurable. Or the batch size could be actually, yeah, what we could also do is dynamically change the batch size. No. I don't know. Anyway, let's just get the damn thing working and we can refine it later. Okay. And then so that unpack. So there's two load entries we must add. The glue one and the real one in the server. Okay. So just like this glue one goes through, touches us through to the real load entry, that glue one will touch us through to the new real load entries. Instead of one node, we're going to have a vector of nodes. Right. And then what I started doing up here, we must cancel. And then also call the load entry must become call to load entries. And that is a non-parameter that doesn't exist anymore. So all we pass along is the entries array. Nice, neat. I like. Just stop being lazy, that's the thing. Like the whole time I'm like, oh, I don't feel like writing that function, and I don't feel like writing that function. So, yeah, but I want the thing, I want the thing working. I really want the whole end product. So he's getting late. He's getting tired. It's 3:20. That's late now. It's getting to my bedtime. But I'm making progress. This is coming along nicely. So this must now change, yeah, to load entries, and then it must unpack entries in a very similar way, if not identical, to how it does it here. in the glue function, the glue load entries, which is that one. So yeah, is the glue load entry function, entries I mean, and rums.child entries. We iterate over the whole spiel, and that doesn't look right, did it? That looks slightly different to what I did. I don't know. I'm going to put a breakpoint here and run it in debug mode in the server just to see what it comes out as, like if this actually works properly. Yeah, so that ALE node is be pushed back. Okay. Lemma sign, never mind the lemma sign, all this crap. And that just gets passed into the real loading. So these glue functions are meant to be really simple. All they do is take boost property trees and turn them in parameter and return values, and then call the real function, which takes the C++ types, and likewise packs the returns values back into, and it also just handles the auth session ID thing for the authentication to make sure the user is logged in, the security side of it, if login is required. Okay, so that there's something else I haven't done. What was it? The actual implementation. Yeah. Okay. Ooh. That shouldn't log every single load entry. That's bad speed-wise. Ah, shit. I'm gonna sneeze. Alright. Yeah, I mean, this is my company's channel as well. It's not just a small private channel, it's the business's channel. I don't know, okay, private channel, what the hell does that even mean, live streaming? It's a private live streaming channel. the load entries, load entries. So basically, we want to iterate over this lot. Okay. The auth check should be about there, and consider it equals image.begin. Plus iter, and the equals okay, so this this will now be wrong. Data entry. But what we can do is just do something like this. Let's use the entry ID so that we have an array of data where it's maybe just mapped from the entry IDs. I don't know. Int ID to so I don't know if that's going to work, but entry ID to entry data. Okay, that's very simple. Very simple. And then all this, the other it says load entry, say load entries. And I'm sure there's something wrong here that I haven't seen. And this, you know what, I wonder if we should use a set. High, medium, low. Maybe a few advantages. That will lose output, will lose order of entries. Not passed in. Excuse me. That squiggles that const. Okay, and you can't see where I'm pointing. Anyway. I don't think it's going to be too slow, but this. This is slow, but I can't think of it. I suppose we could make some memory cache or something, I don't know. Trying to think of a smarter way to do that. A set would help, because... Actually no, a set wouldn't even help. You iterate over this thing once, and you make a map. that would work. Anyway, but I don't think that's going to be the big bottleneck. Premature optimization is the root of all evil. That would be premature optimization. Like, this could actually be negligible. You know, you don't know on a modern machine like this. 25,000 little loops like this could actually be quite quick. Like, if you're looking at a 10-minute load and it takes 10 seconds or something, I don't know, or 5 seconds or 1 second, who knows. Alright, so load entries. So I wanted to run the server in debug mode, and yeah, start from this breakpoint in. Okay, so what? We're running the server. Server. Focus. Start server. Now the release mode client, we connect to the server. And we trigger that with that. Boom, we should hit the breakpoint. Hello. And what's happening? Ah, huh? Did it or did it not? What's going on? Where's my call stuff? I think the call tag window is just closed somewhere. Window or debug or view. Trying to remember where we view other windows. No. Debug Windows call stack. I don't know why my call stack closed. Anyway, if your call stack closes, you can just find it again from debug Windows. There's all the debug windows. Okay, right, so let's see what happens. That looks... No, that's wrong. But I think I know why. I think we should be using iter second. That's the thing I looked at earlier and I thought, that doesn't look right. Can we see what iter second says without rebuilding? Or is that optimistic? It could just be wrong, I'm totally wrong. It does seem to be iterating as if there's an error. Let's just see like if it gets more or less the correct amount of stuff. Okay. There should be 100 when it gets, yeah. Yes, so the size is correct, but they're all 0. I think I know why. I think that should be... enter second maybe. Or maybe take from to strategic from ID. Which is I have no idea what now. Iter second data. Maybe it should be that. I wonder why that one is iter first as the ID and this one is iter second. Should be the same, but I haven't really taken care to try and make them the same. Let's see if that works. I'm not going to do a release, I'm just going to do both in debug mode, but I'm going to use Control F5 to let's just see that is as well. Just make sure. So we run them first the client this time using Control F5 so it's not attached to the debugger, and then we press F5 to run the server. So we're running the client first. Control F5 not attached to the debugger. Now F5 we run the server because the server is the one we want to step through this time. Yeah, opposite to earlier. There's no fixed rule. I mean, it depends where you want to catch bugs. Sometimes you want to debug in the server and sometimes in the client, depending where it's crashing or where it's not working or where you want to see what's going on. So in the server now, we go to Tools and Start Server. I hope that was the right one. And then we connect. And then we set 3A. Okay, that looks more like an ID. Yeah, those look more like IDs. Wonderful. Okay. That looks cool. That actually looks like something. I like. Okay. No, it still won't do anything. Look, it does search in the entries, but they're empty because it hasn't loaded them. And the reason it hasn't loaded them is quite obvious if you have been paying attention. Because even though we now load and return the entries, now we're going back to the client again. The thing that actually calls load entries does not do anything with the result. So the next step is do something that results from server. Okay. Getting very close, but I'm not sure Let's check that glue function again. So the return thing it just put first, second. That's a bit weird. It just puts the ID. It should actually put like a sub array. That's really weird. It's wrong. It's not quite right. It should encapsulate that whole thing in something like entries array, because there's a schlep. Is it a schlep? No, we basically do the opposite to how we pass them in. Okay. So we're going to do something like this. Okay. Return a child entries. Instead of return the put, we can just say child.put. Okay. And entries put pushback child. Actually, no, we can just say entries pushback. Why don't you just make a pair? That's why don't we just make a pair that's iter first, iter second? In fact, why do we even need to do that at all then? Standard map string to string const iterator, that's fine. Loading trees. Loading tree. Why don't I just do this? Entries.put university to second. This doesn't need to do anything, this whole thing doesn't need to do. I'm not quite sure if this is right. And also that should be in there. Let's say so they're now in the glue function, remember? Calls the real function. If it succeeds, pack the resulting entries, which have been passed back in this ret function. Pack that ret thing into a boost property tree array, which is then converted to JSON, big JSON log, and sent back to the client. And then The client, yeah, needs to do something with that result. Let's see. So we call your result get child entries, iterate over it, and now we put our breakpoint in the client to just see what the hell is going on here. This one and this two. I don't know if this iterating is right. No idea. Okay. We need to put a breakpoint here. If this actually works, it'll be a miracle. But it's no, not really. Well, it feels like it. This won't work yet though, because it doesn't do anything. But we're getting very close. It's almost working. This time I'm going to run the server first, without the debugger attached. Okay. Tools menu, start server. Okay, and we're going to run the client in the debugger, with the debugger attached, because we want to trigger that load all. That we're interested in. F9, F5, F9 to clear. F3 a search, and F5. F5. And boom. Let's see what we got from the server. In theory, the result should be a big ass thing. Entries. This one 10 is, wow, that looks right. Is it? No, I don't know. 100? 101? Could be right. That actually looks very promising. That looks awesome. Look at this, but why are there only 4? 10 and then 100. Alright, we go. Tools, database administration, show made IDs. That's not right. It should start with ID 4. Should be 4 and then 80. So it's not actually right. It's not right. I don't know where that 100 and 101 come from. There's 101. But then it doesn't quite seem right, does it? 10 and then 100, 101, 102. Yeah, no, something isn't. There's, oh, you know what, it might start. There's 10. Huh? Where entries? It's just log. That's a temp log. I don't want to keep it in the code because the speed region is going to be very slow. Okay. It doesn't quite look right, but why? That's weird. Okay, now which one? One in the debugger. The server must be not in the debugger. Come on, I just want this working. And I can sleep peacefully. Alright, okay. Extract the log. So that's a list of what it's trying to get from the server. 488, like I said. It could be the order is non-determinate on the way back. Yeah, it's alphabetical. It's alphabetical, that's what's happening. Look, it's coming back alphabetical. That's why the way it's adding is slightly wrong. It's sorting it. It's sorting it on key, alphabetically. 10, 100, 101. It's basically sorting it as if the number was a string. Still, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. It can do that. So what we need here is like the same thing we did for a single load entry. We need to now do something with the results, which is this story. Okay. Boom. Okay. Let's see. It's sorting it alphabetically by an ID string. Is that okay? I mean, it is okay. It is, but is it? I'm fairly sure it is, but I don't really want it to. I don't know. I don't know why, that's just my gut feeling. Alright, okay. So now we want to do hex to bin. S2. So basically S2 is a hex thing. And we want to convert it into a binary blob. And then and the node itself, let's see, node stuff, node, basically, I don't know. Huh. This might be slightly faster. Oh, you know what? We have the pointers because we just... yeah, wait a minute. We must have the pointer. Because these are the batches we're asking for. So what we want is... it's really... yeah. uh, Excuse me. Sorry. What was I trying to do here? I need the angle pointer from the ID. Yeah, it's a funny thing that, I don't know. Don't have a lot of time between all that. Ah. Let me not type my comments. I'm not a fan of feminists, really, I must be honest. But I don't want to be too vocal about my opinions about them, because the type of people who are able to deplatform and shadow ban are often feminists. So I think yeah, they cause a lot of problems in society. Yeah, I don't even get, yeah, if I get started. And they have all these ridiculous ideas that are actually like destructive and negative, like this idea that you shouldn't do anything for a man in a relationship. That's completely absurd. Like, why would you be in a relationship? Like a relationship is a partnership. You're supposed to do things for each other. That's like part of the point. So if you don't want to do anything that, you know, pleases a man, then what are you doing in a relationship? It's like, how can that possibly be constructive to a relationship? But that's the whole point of it. To destroy relationships and drive division between men and women. And it's not just things like making sandwiches, it's also little things like, you know, modern feminists don't want to shave their armpits or whatever because men might like it, you know. So they just want to have disgusting hairy armpits. Like, I don't want a woman with hairy armpits. I don't want, or hairy legs. I don't. It's disgusting, and I'm not gonna date you. And I expect women to make me food. I'm sorry, but that is just, you know, I run a business. You know, I would rather sit here making money programming, and that's the delegation in my household. If you are the woman in my household, you must help prepare food. You know, it is not the opportunity cost of, the amount of money I can earn per hour sitting programming. For me to sit and make food, it doesn't make sense. So, yeah, I would never date a feminist. It would not work, even remotely. And I like women to dress sexy and to look sexy and to look feminine. Like a woman should look like a woman. And these feminists, they don't want to do that. Just in case that might please a man, That's like against their principles. But I mean, with the attitude like they have, you'll never find the quality man who wants to be with a feminist. It's harsh. It's harsh. I hope nobody's listening. But I'm very careful about what I say now these days because, like, I want to immigrate, for example, and I think when you want to immigrate, your whole application is gonna, at some point, you prepare a whole lot of paperwork and you get all your documentation in order and you work for months and months and months, and then at some point the decision lies in the hands of someone somewhere in a bureaucratic organization, and that person could be a feminist. And if I'm going around saying, I don't like feminists, it's like they could just reject your application. Boom. Sorry. So yeah, uh, I'm a lot. I have to be a lot more careful about what I say right now. I'm dialing back on being so politically opinionated. Good question. Just kidding. Yeah. Somebody's got to feed the fish here, so I'm just going on mine. It's a complex question. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. Like, I may end up in a different country to my kids, which is not a nice thought. I mean, I hate the thought, but there's a lot of factors there's a lot of things I have to consider. Yeah, it's yeah. Get rid of a batches. Started entries, get ID. Okay. Edit entry. Okay. Edit entry. And then over here, when we're loading, we can just say pnode equals map ID to entry, to string to ID. This one, let's use R. That should work. Why is it doing squiggles? So now I want to run the server again. I've been working like hours and hours and hours on this. And now this is like the moment of truth. It should just work now. The thing I've been working on for hours. I hope. Or it's just gonna like crash or something. I don't know. Okay. This is like a culmination of hours of work. I don't know what's going on. It's just like stuck. I don't know what it's. Oh, there we go. We're about to find out. Wow. That actually looks like it might have worked. To give it a proper test. This looks really promising. This is exciting. It's probably difficult to tell what's exciting and what's not if you don't know what's going on here. So I have to tell people, nah, here's the exciting part. I have to explain. And it probably doesn't show on my face either. I'll just feel like sleeping. But actually there's like really exciting stuff. Okay. No. I don't know, I'm gonna just see what happens if I test this with 25,000 entry dictionary. What just happened there? That's not right. Oh, there's two running. Okay. Now it's kind of the moment of truth. I don't know what's going to happen. It might crash. I think it's going to crash. It's not crashing. Let's see how much data is getting transferred. So we have 25,000 entries in 250, 25,000 entries, 100 entries at a time. So 250 batches at about a megasecond. That's slow, why not? So the one sending is the server, the one receiving is the client. I would have thought it would be much faster, but it's only marginally faster than earlier today. It might be because of the excessive logging is probably not helping. Or there's something else wrong. Needs a progress dialog. Now I'm going to see if it worked. It worked, huh? Look at that. In theory, we should get the same number of results. Let's just cross-check. If it's the same number of results, then I'm going to be really impressed. Matches found 953475. It really worked. This is very, very, very cool. That was quite a lot of complex coding. I'm really tired. It's like, as the, yeah, and I get more tired as the night goes on, then like, it's like my brain just tries to just save its energy just for the coding and not use any energy for things like facial expressions or tone of voice. So ironically, so when I get cool things working, I'll usually be at my most tired because then I'll have put in all the effort. So ironically, when I get cool things working, that's when I'll have my most dreary facial expressions. I'm a robot. I've just spent too much time programming. Right. I don't have a lot of hobbies in life. I basically, yeah. Girls and programming and my motorbike. Yeah, that's about it. That is my life. Oh, and art, painting, yeah. So perhaps it worked. This is really cool. it even found the exact same number of matches, which is really a good sign. That means it transferred all those entries perfectly. I wonder if I do save as, save as TLex file, can we? I do like traveling, but I don't get to travel much these days. I'm hoping to have some possible trip coming up. I might be going to Malaysia in the near future. I hope. I really want to go. I don't know why it's hanging. I just hit file save as. No, it's just hanging. Oh, yeah, I know why it's hanging. Because it's doing the load all again. And it's starting from scratch. Reloading everything again. Yeah, there it goes. Desktop. So that's really cool. I've made good progress today. It's 5:04. There was one other thing I really wanted to do still, and that's to add a new client-server API function. I think I'm gonna eat and sleep when I'm done, yeah. So I'm gonna. That is very cool. That I did now is like the one thing that basically stands in the way of me letting the client start using this. Well, actually, no, there's a couple of other small things. Okay, I want to use the compare merge now just to really do a test. Yeah. There's something wrong with the loading. Anyway, that might be because it loaded twice. It might have loading everything double. Yes. Okay. So it needs work, but that's okay. So the thing I want to do next should be much simpler. I basically want to take this do get helper and no, I want to take this helper and turn it into a function that returns just a string, I think. Yeah, so and I want to put it in here, I think, in internet.h. It's very similar to that. In fact, it is that, look. So what happens if we do that? To lure begin, to lure in. Then in the this is already in the red. That's all I need. And I have already there. So oh, it's not the root. It's the good URL. But then let me do this. Watch this. This is gonna be weird. Wait. I want to. Okay. This is the interesting thing. Parse JSON result into a property tree, but I don't want to use a property tree. I want to use something else. This, yeah, okay. This is not going to be. Let's open this Chinese one again and say tool start server. Now I'm going to open a new project. Call it test client. Okay. And make a lure fixed. I've got to go blow my nose. Oh, back in a sec. Hello, why is this thing hanging? What's going on? I'm just thinking, maybe. To get to URLW, I've been there before. I like it. I like it. I really like it. So this is super cool if this works. Oops, it didn't crash. Okay. Curl not initialized. Why is it if curl not initialized? If why not just initialize it? Ah, damn it, man! Come on. We're gonna have to always initialize curl at this rate. Nether curl in it. I think I should just put that in the app on init. Okay. This will be really cool if it works. So we have the Chinese one, blah blah blah. Say start server. Then another one. Say open. Test client. Good question. Yeah, that's the short version. People are acting a bit like the problem's over, but it's not. So lemma test Lua script fixed. My water tank is at least nearly full, for whatever that's worth. Okay, so that save. It worked, wow. to fetch data from an API HTML API server. So basically, I've been working on a API server, but that's now also part of the client side stuff. So you could create a field that's like, and we could do that. Let's see what happens. I don't know if this is going to work. Stock price. Livestock price, weather, yeah. I can't remember which one, but maybe this one. Stocks. So yeah, so we could have something like slash stock. So we want to get like Microsoft stock value. You say something like this. Typically, like on the command line, you would do it like that, right? I don't know if that's going to work. I can't remember what the URL is. API dot, or is it maybe like this? No, it's not right. Come on. Stock slash symbol. Oh, there we go. API 1.0. So we must say API.xtrading 1.0 stock MSFT. Oh, come on, man. What's not found? Maybe that's not it. I don't think that's right either. Maybe that's... So basically, I want to work towards, being able to build like a view like this into our software, but you could have any get stock symbol. That works. So what are you wrong? That retrieved data. Maybe I just didn't read the documentation. Maybe it's just supposed to be something like that. Quote. I'm gonna sneeze here. I think I've done enough for the day. I need to translate that to Celsius to understand what that means. I have no mental reference points for Fahrenheit. I have to convert to Celsius, otherwise it just doesn't mean anything to me. Okay, now I need something. I need two levels. I need to be able to take this, the result of that, which is in JSON format, and do some sort of JSON parsing to make it easy to grab little bits and pieces, like to iterate it. I'm sorry I disappointed you and let you down.